Let's go for a bike ride. Hi folks, it's Chandra from the Penticton Museum. I'm glad you could join me today. I've always been a lifelong learner, and I've always loved riding my bike. I thought I would try combining those two loves of mine and going out on Penticton Streets, where we take a look at some of the historic sites and locations around Penticton, while riding our bikes. So come on, let's go. Let's go down Latimer Street. Latimer Street is named after the Latimer family. Frank was a surveyor for the Kettle Valley Railway, and later he laid out the original Penticton subdivision. His son Gerald was also a surveyor, as well as a postmaster for Penticton. These three maples are on Penticton's Heritage Tree Registry. Let's take a closer look at these beauties. The 2001 City Tree Bylaw protects city-owned heritage and wildlife trees. Over 200 trees were identified in 32 locations, including the fir trees at Lakeview Cemetery, the elms on Westminster Avenue, and the Skaha Park Ponderosa Pines. The sidewalk actually used to go between this retaining wall and the tree on the left-hand side, but the city recently repaved and put in this boulevard here to protect the trees. Thanks, city, because these are heritage trees. Wade Avenue is one of the older streets here in Penticton. I wanted to stop here and take a look at this house. Oh, that's not a sweet little wood house, dating back from the early 1900s. Look, they've even kept the old fence. I love that style. Look what they've done with their garden. That's beautiful. This house is sometimes known as the Jack Ellis house because Jack Ellis, a firefighter, lived here. It's one of the older houses on this street. There at one time were two Fairviews, Fairview Road and Fairview Avenue. It might have got confusing, so they changed the name. And they changed Fairview Avenue to Wade Avenue. Wade was the last name of Alfred Wade, who was Penticton's first reeve. A reeve is a kind of like a mayor, but for a smaller community. When you go down Wade Avenue, you see a variety of houses ranging from the early 1900s into the 1920s, 1930s, all the way through to 1970s, 80s, and 90s. It's a nice little thoroughfare. As well as being Penticton's first reeve, Alfred Wade was a storekeeper, postmaster, and near the end of his life, one of Penticton's greatest billiards players. He supported the establishment of the community's first school. Wade earned the respect and admiration of the community, his tombstone reading, "Good and faithful servant." I like these little houses. It reminds me of the time when people didn't have mortgages and they had to save up their money in order to build their house. And so the house that they built reflected how much money they earned, how much money they saved. It's a little tricky to see with this fence, but you can see that concrete block siding matches the archival photos that we have. Take a look at that turret up on top. Maybe not a turret. It's when you come around to the north side of the building that you get a sense of the industrial use of this building. It's got those pipes, ventilation pipes. Loading bay. It was from this area here that the Kettle Valley Railway ran. The trains would run down the tracks here. Go past the chemical plant, pick up their cargo, and continue on down the track. The Oliver Chemical Plant supplied sprays for the agricultural industry. And it was in the spring that you could tell that they were starting to gear up because the smell of sulfur or rotten eggs escaped from the plant. They were getting the spray ready to protect the trees from insect pests. Windsor Avenue is the heart of the Cherryland community. In 1947, ads in the Penticton Herald for the Cherryland subdivision offered residents large quarter-acre parcels of rock-free, well-fertilized, level land at an average price of $600 per lot. Wouldn't that be nice today? The Windsor Avenue Oval is also part of the area where the first European settled with his family in the late 1800s. Thomas Ellis came to the valley from Ireland in 1865, and once he settled as a rancher, he returned to Ireland to marry his childhood sweetheart, Wilhelmina. They raised their 9 children here, along with nearly 20,000 head of cattle. Alfred Wade ended up settling in the Okanagan Valley in Penticton because his sister, Wilhelmina, had married Thomas Ellis. Alfred came out and helped tutor the 9 Ellis children. He was always well liked by children because of his sense of humor. Not surprisingly, Alfred was also in support of starting Penticton's first school. Here we are at Penticton's first Christian cemetery on Fairview Road. It's really peaceful in here. These trees are probably 50, 60, maybe 70 years old. But the gravestones go back way longer. There's a particular gravestone that I'm looking for here. Let's see if we can find it. I think it's over here. This is the Anglican Cemetery. First cemetery in the area that we know of as Penticton. It had a chapel here, built by Tom Ellis, after his family avoided near mishap on a wagon ride. He had this chapel built to say thanks to the Lord for saving their lives. You can see the foundations here. Oops, where is it? There it is. Woo, don't fall over. You can see the foundations here for the chapel. The chapel's been moved to St. Saviour's on Winnipeg Street, and it's attached to St. Saviour's Church now. Should we go take a closer look there? Let's see, this monument marks site of Old St. Saviour's Church, the original church of Penticton, erected by Thomas Ellis in 1892. The original portion now forms the Ellis Memorial Chapel of the new St. Saviour's Church. Well, that's exactly what I said. Alright, but we didn't just come here to take a look at the chapel foundations. We're looking for a particular grave site. Let's see here. I think it's over here. Henson. Here it is. This is the one. Listen to that Merlin in the background. It's in loving memory of Alfred Henry Crawford Wade, born in Glenmire, County Cork, May 27th, 1853, passed on April 15th, is that 15th? 1929. Also of Christine Elsie Wade, born in Somerset, May, we're missing a number, there's a 2, 1872, and died in December 12th, 1945. Well, I don't know about you, but I thought that was a great bike ride. We learned a little bit about the origin of Wade Avenue's name and how it's named after Alfred Wade, Penticton's first reeve. I hope my bike ride inspires you to check out Wade Avenue, and I hope it even inspires you to get out on your bicycle. And maybe, just maybe, you and I will see each other out on Penticton Streets. I'm Chandra with the Penticton Museum. Bye for now.